Hey, hi everyone. I have my first guest here today who is Nilanjan Roy, who is the head of group business at Manipal Cigna Health Insurance. So, to start with, Nilanjan, can you tell me a little bit about your Manipal story? How did that get going?
So, thank you, Shivani, for having me on this show. Really appreciate it. Well, Manipal Cigna, I've now been with this company for close to 11 years, and I'm surprised that I've worked in a company for such a long time. But the journey started way back in 2014 when this company was still called those days Cigna TTK Health Insurance, and I moved in after a great experience of working with one of the largest insurance broking firms in the Indian market and the world, which is Marsh and McLaren Companies. So my point that time was that okay, I worked in advising clients on insurances, but I never have worked for an insurance company. So let me uh, join one of the leading firms that is coming into India and gain some experience, and probably at some point in time get back to on the consultative side. But well, I mean, it's been a journey where every day has been more meaningful than the day before, and it's continued to be so. And sometimes when I look back and I say, oh my god, I mean, I've spent so much time here. But I should say what really has made it exciting is the continuous pursuit for innovation, the continuous pursuit of trying to do something different in the Indian market, and especially in the segment that I represent, the company, which is the enterprise, business, which includes the corporate business, which is B2B, as well as the B2B2C, which includes working with a lot of partners and kind of supporting their clients for insurance requirements. So we have been very focused initially on the global health insurance, where we brought in a lot of clients who were global Indian multinationals. Like any of the top IT companies who have employees working for them on assignments across the world. And there was this unique solution that Cigna brought into the country through the JV, which was a global health benefit solution. And that was basically a need gap that was fulfilled, and we did a lot of business there. And then when you onboard such kind of clients, some of these clients were my clients from my previous company also. And then you realize they have no other option. So if I have to really leave the company, I'll be leaving my clients in a lot. So that was a little bit personal for me. So I continued to hang around, and then of course COVID came. It completely changed how the entire health insurance industry is kind of looking at redeveloping how the health risk is looked upon in this country. So there's a lot of change that has happened, and I think this is more meaningful at this point in time to be where the action is, and that action is in health insurance with a health insurance company. And I think Manipal Cigna has been ringing some bells, right? And that's what is exciting and keeps me motivated and continue to add a world of difference to our clients and the market.
Excellent. So that makes you the right choice for our five question show today. So I'll dive straight into the questions, Nilanjan. So to start with, I want to dig a little deep on the evolving corporate health benefits. So with Indian corporates increasingly adopting employee wellness and health benefit programs, how do you see the role of group insurance evolving, and what unique needs or expectations are emerging among SMEs versus larger corporates?
So, Shivani, there are a couple of different things happening. I think when you say or use the word wellness, wellness can mean different things. Wellness essentially, is more about how do I manage, my health so that I do not, develop and increase the propensities, which lead to a certain kind of illness happening, right? That is something typically what we understand as wellness. But when you look at it from the insurer's perspective and a client's perspective, I think what they're really looking at, is risk management, correct? So for us as insurers, we look at wellness more as a risk management opportunity, where if our clients are more aware of why they should do wellness, then they are indirectly propagating a culture of being more proactive about their own health, and that helps us because that ensures that the propensity for employee to claim also goes down. Correct.
Yeah.
So, and especially after COVID, okay, what we have seen is, uh, you know, uh, clients have come back to us and they have asked us that, okay, how can we do more and how can we get more from our employee health insurance plan? Correct. So the brokers have advised their clients that, okay, probably this is the time when you should go beyond and you should probably start including preventive health care into the insurance program. So they came back to us and they said, can you do this? Correct. So for us, the good thing is, we are very very open to the idea, because in a way, like I said, it helps us. So it was all about deconstructing our group health plan and trying to figure how we could make the plans more comprehensive, how we could include those things which today are outside the purview of a typical health insurance plan, but I could cover it, right? So they always existed as covers, and that's the beauty of a group plan. You can curate and customize as you want. And then the bigger thing that as an insurer, I think we were trying to grapple with, okay, we can structure it in the plan, we can price it, but how do I deliver it? Because at
Mm.
the end of the day, you can price and build anything you want in the product, but you should also have a way to kind of deliver it. So there, I think we were helped a lot by some of these new health tech partners that are currently operating in India, who provided us that access to that significant provider community, which did not exist with a traditional TPA. TPAs were generally tied up with hospitals,
Okay.
but they were not tied up with, like, a diagnostic centers and a doctor or maybe a wellness center, which these companies kind of fill the gap. And we found that a collaboration with them would help us deliver this kind of benefits in a seamless manner to our clients. And there we realized that digital enablement would be very very important, and we ensured that whatever we put into the new product, we were also able to digitally deliver it by tying some of the back end operations. Like, you will have a TPA, you will also have a wellness partner or an OPD partner. How does the claim flow? So making it easy, not only from a product structuring and pricing perspective, but also from a delivery perspective, has been something that we have been really focused on the last couple of years. And I'm happy to say that today, I think the market is in a not a very very mature state, but at least in a much more better place than it was right around COVID, when people were kind of most of our clients were trying to grapple and understand what to do. Correct. So at least today there is a infrastructure in place where we are not only covering our employers' employees in illness, but we are also able to cover them, what we call as in wellness. Correct. So that's where I think the market is, and probably with time, in the next couple of years, we will see more and more integrated insurance products coming into the market, which focuses on the entire experience, which is basically from wellness to illness and illness to wellness back. Correct. And that will be the real change, which I think we are all excited about, and we are all working towards it.
Okay. Moving to building resilience in group insurance through data. So, as data becomes central to risk assessment, what role is predictive analysis going to play in your firm's group insurance business?
So, as an insurer, like I mentioned, that the biggest aspect that we are there to kind of manage is the risk, the health financing risk, right? But health financing risk can only be addressed provided I understand what am I covering. Correct. And we with the advent of some of these predictive analytic tools, especially AI driven, which relies on machine learning, we realize that a lot of information that today is important for us to analyze to be able to price the risk right sits outside digital systems. Correct. And if we had to kind of bring in predictive analysis, bring in AI, I think the first big challenge that we had to solve was, how do we digitize everything that we have and put it into an intelligent system, because we know that using AI, or rather we knew that AI would give us a visibility to some aspects which today we are not able to see on manually underwritten programs, correct? So today, if you ask me, I think we are a more resilient company, or the entire industry, and now, I'm not only talking here about my company, is because for us, predictive analysis, right? So AI, that helps us understand the risk better. It helps us understand propensities better, and it helps us understand and kind of put all the members into different cohorts, because you can't have, like, for example, my health risk and your health risk and a third or a fourth person's health risk is not the same, but I cannot put it through a manual system. However, with data, with predictive analysis, I'll be able to understand this much better. So that is one. Secondly, when it comes to delivery of health insurance, which is claims,
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest issue is, uh, which you will be surprised to know, 70% is what should actually be allowed. 30%, okay, these are like broad numbers, this is not like something, but I'm just saying broadly, 30% probably is something that should not be allowed but flows through the system, correct? Out of which probably 10% would be something which we should never allow, which is basically what we call as insurance frauds, correct? And I think every second day you will read in the newspaper some hospital somewhere, some doctor, something they are doing. Like, for example, you would have just read last week in Gujarat, some doctor did some unnecessary angioplasties, and some young people lost their lives. Now these are medical frauds, okay? And medical fraud is done primarily because there is some mechanism of financing and they want to tap that financing. Now, how
Right.
do you stop that? You can stop that provided there is data and there is a system that sits, in between all these systems, and which is able to pick up the trends. That, okay, this does not look right because from the previous data, this looks amiss. Maybe do a little bit more investigation. And by doing that, I think we are saving a lot of money. And these are whose money? These are our insured members' money, our clients' money. So, in a way, this is what we call as building resilience, because technology is really helping us in a way, and I think it will continue to help us. And I think data is the next big thing. Okay, so the idea is that today, if I, as a person, go to a Manipal Cigna or to a Bajaj or to an ICICI or anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
or for that matter, today I work in company A, I would go to company B, company C, company D.
Yeah.
Am I seen as a new person all over again, or am I seen as a risk? No matter where I go, I will be identified. And the moment that happens, I think insurers will be able to price the risk correctly. It will become more affordable, because then somebody who's really healthy and who's investing in wellness and is investing in preventive care is able to do that much better. And is, of course, his health is better, so I'll be able to price it better. People who are morbid, who are living with conditions, I can manage them better, not necessarily price them better. And I think that is basically the true output of a resilient system. And I think only technology can do that. And I think all of us are investing heavily in technology.
Speaking of tech, I'll dig a little deeper here. So, talking about the role of tech in building distribution channels. So, insurance distribution in India remains a complex web of brokers, banking channels, digital platforms, and so on. How can tech solutions like a CRM help you navigate and optimize these channels? And could you share insights on maybe balancing the digital and the human touch points when dealing with customers?
Sure. I think, again, I mean, if you really see how insurance has grown globally outside of India, I think China is a great example, right? So China, so today, the world's largest insurance company is a Chinese firm, right? And if you look at their history, 10 years back, they were not the largest firm, okay? But now today they have kind of overtaken 200-year-old companies, right? And if you really look at their business mess, you will realize that all of them are typically retail customers, which means individual customers, who are there, who have come on board and they have taken insurance. And then when you look at how were they able to do it, you will see that they have utilized what we call as a tech platform strategy very, very well. Okay. So today in India, if you see, we have tech platforms, but they are typically, by startup companies who are creating, some of these tech platforms, or insurers creating these tech platforms, and they're saying, okay, I have a stack. You want to start doing selling insurance? Why don't you do a plug and play with my app, and you will be able to offer this. But the limitation is these platforms are unique to the companies. So somewhere, it is not something that is for the world or for the entire Indian market, correct? So there is a little bit of exclusivity which still exists. And because of that exclusivity, if that platform does not have a reach which goes to the last person on the on the road, then it is not an efficient technology to distribute. So I think what is happening, and there are a lot of work that is happening today in the Indian market, is how do we bring a public technology or create a public technology. Like, for example, on the fintech side, there is an UPI technology that has been built, right? So is there some kind of public insurance technology or a platform that could be created where the transaction process of insurance, wherein a person needing insurance comes in there and in a seamless manner, without being pushed, okay, or without being directed, can choose the right kind of insurance that works for him or her, and also pays the right price, correct? Now that can only be done if the first leg, and which is again to my last my last answer to your question, AI models, right? So probably the first leg can completely be managed by AI, correct, where you don't need a human interface, which means the first level of underwriting. So to understand and ask those basic questions, to the person, okay, what is your age, what's your gender, do you have insurance, do you have any health condition, please say what health conditions you have, when was the last time you took a test, was there anything that came out. So these kind of leading questioning can be done by an AI tool, and through some kind of a predictive analysis, it can throw up certain data, and using that data, certain insurance plans can be created by the digital system itself and can be shown to the member. And then that is the right way to kind of approach, and then the person says, okay, I think this works for me, this is what I really want to do. That is one way of doing it, right? The other way of doing it is trying to use technology which exists in other areas. Let's say, for example, a very common thing, like we all book air tickets, correct? Now, you a travel insurance is best sold when you try to sell it along with the ticketing process, correct? So if you're booking an international ticket, and if the system actually asks you that, okay, you're traveling internationally, I think you need insurance, these are some of the insurance plans, would you like to buy, and why you should buy. So that moment of truth is the most important point, and typically most of the travel insurance policies are sold through that model. I don't think anybody goes into any website and tries to buy a travel insurance policy until and unless it's a very aware customer, like I will do it, okay? But probably my parents won't do it, my family would not do it, because they don't work in the insurance room and they don't understand. So how do we ensure those kind of I should say parallel technologies which exist today, or platforms that exist today, can also be in a way developed or curated to plug into these insurance system and enhance that entire distribution strategy. And I think that is what will really increase what we call as insurance for all, inclusivity and all that. Because otherwise, the historical traditional models that today exist is a very one to one, man to man marking kind of a process, correct? If I know you, only then I will catch you. Most of the time I will only catch you because I know you are already an insurance customer. And under the new rules that exist in the insurance domain, where you can port your policies, it's about somebody representing one insurance company moves to another insurance company and says, okay, I'll port all my customers to the new insurance company. Now, if that keeps happening, I don't think it is adding any value to the overall, the government's aim of insurance for all, right? But I
Yeah.
think technology can help in this matter. Why? Because technology does not differentiate. Technology is very personal, right? So it totally, I mean, there are no two ways about it, that okay, maybe, yes, no. So there are no subjectivities, and I think that is very important. And when there is no subjectivity, even as an insurer, for example, I would trust that data more than a person coming and telling me, oh, no, no, take this risk, is very good, correct? And that is what has been happening. So I think this is how I think some of these tools can really help us.
Okay. Now, of course, we can't talk about, the group insurance landscape without going into regulations. So, given the recent regulatory changes by the IRDIA, how do you anticipate the group insurance landscape shifting? Also, what opportunities or challenges do these regulatory dynamics present for innovation and product offering in product
So
offering?
yes, sure, sure. So I think the regulations and IRDI, the regulator, they they always focus on something which is what we call in our language as standardization and increasing transparency, right? So they want that across the market, there should be standardization, and there has to be transparency is what the insurance company is underwriting, what the insured member is understanding, and how it is effectively executed on the ground, correct? So we would continue to see the regulator pushing for more standardization, more openness, use of technology, and then doing their bit around trying to include some of the newer or what we say as the emerging concepts around healthcare management, like wellness, or for example, like outpatient care, and saying that okay, why keep it outside the insurance system? Why don't you include it in the insurance system? Something that really required a change, and especially what COVID taught us, there were so many things that fell outside the purview of insurance, correct? And even though group insurance, we were able to cover everything because they were customized policies, a lot of our corporate clients especially, they realized that, oh my god, the term, we never read the terms and conditions, we were not really worried about that. Oh, it does not cover domiciliary. Oh, it does not cover non medical expenses. It does not cover something else. It does not cover this, that. For that matter, even today, you know that mental well-being is in vogue, right? Stress levels are going up, you keep on reading, right? So mental health is a very, very big point of discussion. A lot of corporates are really focusing their energy on how to manage mental health. Now, mental health was always outside the purview of health insurance in India. So what the regulator has done in the last couple of years has been that they have made the entire insurance wordings and all standardized. So they came they came out, they told all the insurance companies, you have to include some of these things that today lie outside of insurance. Yes, there is a cost to it. You are free to increase the cost. Okay, that really opened up a new segment from a coverage perspective. So for example, like mental illness is one of them, or bariatric surgery, or including non-medical expenses, which would typically end up out of a total 100 rupee claim, 10 to 15 rupees would be not paid because they were non-medical expenses. Now just imagine, you're paid for 100 rupee insurance, and when it comes to you to be claiming 10 to 15 to 20 rupees is not getting paid, so you're going out of pocket. Plus what is not getting paid is your regular visits to the doctor and all that. So just imagine the out of pocket expenses today in India, uh, you know, is a big challenge. And I think in a small way, by allowing all these things, trying to standardize, insurance coverage in India, especially health insurance, the IRDA has really shown that they are very progressive, and they want all insurers in India to start thinking more innovatively around how to make insurance more inclusive. And I think that is the biggest role of the regulator, in which they're playing out really well.
Awesome. My final question and the final fifth question to you, Nilanjan, is on digital transformation. So, could you share any key digital developments in claims, customer service, or any other process along a policy life cycle that has been interesting in 2024?
In 2024, I think, see, AI based technologies and solutions has been the single most, popular technology tools that all insurance companies in some way have introduced into some of their core processes, right? Uh, Now, of course, where we would like to see them more, I think that is still under development, which is on the underwriting side, but at least on the claim side, right? So on the claim side, there are a lot of AI engines and AI tools that exist, which all companies, insurance companies, are utilizing primarily to to be able to manage their claims better. And like I talked about fraud, right? So fraud is one very big item that every insurance company wants to tackle, and through AI that is becoming easier and easier. Correct. So that probably this year has seen more of implementation. Probably in the previous year it was more of testing, but you know that AI can only work when you have loads and loads of data into it, which is what we call as machine learning. And then depending on the data and the trends that they see in the data, they are able to function better, right? So chat GPT of 2 years back versus chat GPT of 2 years ahead will be very different because it would have learned a lot, right? But I think, yeah, in 2024, these were some, I mean, AI based tools were one very big thing. The second, I think, technology that really has kind of taken shape or taking shape is around CRM. Okay. So what is a typical way to outreach an insurance company in case of any issues, whether it's a claim issue or a service issue or a enrollment issue, whatever issue? How do you outreach and how do you touch base with an insurance company, right? In group insurance, definitely, typically we have client service team, we have account managers and all that. Just think about on the retail side. Correct. Now, because a lot of these corporates today under the flexibility option are offering individual policies which employees are taking on voluntarily, right? Which is almost akin to retail insurance. When the time of a requirement comes, maybe there is a claim or something, how do they outreach us? Who are they going to talk to? It was always a phone number. It was never 24/7. Work days typically not available on weekday, on weekends. So this is what was happening. Then there was chatbots that came in and all those things happened. But again, it is not so developed. But I think with the advent of AI, with the advent of chat boxes which are driven by AI engines at the back end, correct? That is basically coming into vogue. And now, in at least the second half, we have seen certain insurance companies which are using some of these AI AI empowered chatbot engines for their customer service, because I think more than 80% of customer queries are stock standard. Correct. I don't know what is my insurance. I don't know this. I think my date of birth is mentioned wrong. I think I missed my premium payment. Okay, or something, or maybe I want to add. I just we just had a baby. We want to add the baby in the policy. These things can be very easily managed, without any human intervention. Correct. And that is one. That is the second thing where we are seeing a lot of activity and a lot of implementation happening. Finally, I think we are also seeing a lot of technologies which are trying to bridge the gap between the insurance product, the insurance claim service, which is through TPAs, and the and this is on the group side with employers, right? Because no employer today wants to keep changing the technology that they have as an insurance interface for their employees every time an insurer changes. Correct.
Yeah.
So there we are seeing a lot of insurance broking firms coming out and investing in technologies where they are basically implementing that technology as the middle layer. Okay, so there is a customer or an employer integration, and then there is an insurer TP integration, and they become the middle layer. And that is something that is happening on the group side. So that's the third thing that we are seeing. And on an ongoing basis, of course, there are discussion around can blockchain be used, can something, but I think we are a little far away from really understanding the power of blockchain in insurance. And there are, of course, regulations to be really careful about. Yeah, so these are some of the top technology innovations that have kind of been implemented in 2024.
Thank you. So, to summarize, I think based on our discussion today, and I think you are very excited about is AI, and that would probably be the single biggest growth driver for the group insurance landscape.
Yes, of course. I mean, for us, having all our services kind of aggregated in one place
Mhm.
and adopting a plug and play approach with our customers or our partners, I think is the single easiest way to scale our business quickly. Because if you put technology on one side, all the other interventions like maybe opening a branch, hiring more people, you know getting some investment done on something else is only going to cost money, and the returns, we do not know when we are going to see the returns. But technology is one single powerful force that can completely change everything. And I think every insurance company today, or rather every player in the insurance domain today has understood the power of technology and what we can do, and what can be done by ensuring that most of these technologies are fungible. Correct. So it should not be that, okay, it's like those, we had those phones before, right? BlackBerry. The
Mm.
technologies don't talk to each other, right? So and then you see suddenly they are gone from the they're just gone, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you have an Android kind of a thing, or a Apple. Even Apple was like that, but then it kind of opened up. So that is exactly what will really make insurance more egalitarian. Correct. So it can't be specific, it has to be common for all, because if it is not common for all, then it is not an inclusive thing, right? So there I think I believe if there is some kind of a development of something that is more core, more central, which everybody can come and use and kind of participate, would increase the adoption of insurance. I think we need an UPI movement.